Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Cleaning Relics. This time we will start with electrolyse. It's a hardcore measure of pretty much cleaning metal with electricity. We'll be building up today. It's quite some work to get the installation done again. So we'll expect to have the video up in 1 or 2 days maximum. So stay tuned and we'll hope you enjoy it again like last one. Cheers. Alright, let's get it started. First of all the materials we need for working with electrolyse. First thing, basic thing, you need a plastic bucket. Or a small one. All depends on the size of the object you want to clean. Make it a suitable bucket, else you'll be using a lot of water and too much salt, which is waste. Second of all, most important one, you need your power supply. In this case, battery charger for a car. Make sure it has at least 3 amperes, 12 volts. And make sure it does not need a different electrical current to get started. Else you have a lot of effort to get the machine going. That are actually already the basic things. Up here we have wires, and up here we have metal bars. This is soda. We'll put that in the water. We'll explain it later how it works. Of course, your safety gear. We'll need this because we're gonna cut the steel. And we need this if we're gonna put our hands in the water. The water is gonna get really dirty. And here are some tools for cutting the steel. We use this one for the cutting, this one for the grinding. Be sure that's a safety check, so you're using good tools. These are the items we're gonna clean this time. We have a old exploded piece of Katusha, German casing, badly rusted, and a Russian helmet. Ourselves, we're not really fan of using electrolyse on helmets because it can damage the item. It can take away the paint. But well, this is a helmet. Not much to lose on this one, eh? And we just wanted to show you the effects of electrolyse on a helmet, because it will really destroy all rust, so you will only have bare metal left. And with some relics, the rust is actually what still keeps it together. So it would be a waste to damage it like that. So where are we gonna get started? The metal bars. We'll put them in 4 sides of the corner, every corner 1. We will connect these bars with electrical wire, preferably copper, because copper is a good transmitter for electricity. We can just adjust it with a piece of tape. So we'll just, at the wire here, put a piece of tape over it, and it's connected. I must note that we're gonna need a grinder. Why? The material on this steel, it has a protective layer on it, so it guides the electricity less towards the water. So we'll be grinding it down till the bare metal comes up, so we will have a good connection with the water. If we have the metal bars installed and all connected, you could see it, that's 1 circle. Electricity has got 2, the red one and the black one. We will be connecting one of these on the metal bars, the other one on the object. We can simply do it like that in this case. With the object, same story. Make sure it is connected to the bare metal. Again, a grinder comes in hand. Grind it a little bit. Make sure it's connected on that piece, so you will have a good transmission of the electricity. Be sure to put the piece in the middle, because we will have electricity coming from all corners towards the center. And how does the electricity guide? For that, we have salt. Apparently salt, in this case soda, is a mineral, and it can guide electricity if you add it to water. You can use all kinds of salt, but we advise definitely not to use the salt you have at home, because that has been chemically treated. And while doing this process, gases will come up, and the gases in normal salt are really damaging to the health. In general, what we are doing here is not healthy at all. So that's why we definitely have the mask, gloves, glasses. Because what will happen, we'll have the metal bars, and it will guide towards our object. The rust will be eaten away from the object. It's a chemical reaction. I'm not gonna dive very deep in that. And the metal bars we have, these will rot away. So be sure to use metal pieces you don't need, because it will be totally eaten away by the chemical reaction. And while we have this chemical reaction, the gases that come free, I'm not sure about the name, but it has something to do with water, hydrogen, oxygen, which is highly explosive and very bad for your health. So always be sure, if you're gonna do this, you have enough ventilation, and definitely not do it at home. That's very important. This is basically it. Once all the parts are connected, you have mixed the water with the salt. You can simply turn on the electricity, and you will straight ahead see the water bubbling, and dirty brown yellowish stuff will be floating on the water. As you can see, we still have some traces up there. So it's gonna get messy, but our relic's gonna be clean. Theoretically, you can keep using this device every time. You just have to change the water, change the salt, which you can buy pretty cheap. So it's actually a very cheap household solution, because the only things you need to buy is a car charger. You can find it for 30 bucks. Salt, we're not even gonna talk about it. And of course some tools that we assume everybody has, or your father or your grandfather, whatever, or your boyfriend if you're a woman, of course. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna work on it now, install it, and we'll be back later. Cheers. Well, we cut the pieces, now time to grind it. Alright, grinding is finished. As you can see, I did both sides, so we'll have a good metal connection. Now we're just gonna slap it hard with the hammer to get all this useless rust away. We're gonna treat it bad, so that saves a lot of work for later on. As you can see, a lot comes off. That stuff we don't want in the water, because the water will get dirty and we'll have a less good connection. Connecting the wires. Well, simply turn it around, make sure it's really tight to the metal, and put some duct tape around it. That should do the trick. Then you can connect all three corners, and we'll get back. And we're connected. As you can see, 1, 2, 4 pieces of steel covering all corners. Our point will be in the middle. That's where our connectors will be. One up here and one up here, also in the middle. And of course you can improve this in many ways with, better connection to the metal, better copper wire. As you can see, this is a thick one, so it will have a better transmission as a small one. Not obvious, but we'll say it again. So we're gonna fill it up with water. We'll make sure the item is submerged. We have 1 kilogram of soda in there. Should definitely be enough to do the trick. You can always add more if you think there's not a good connection or whatever. Just don't put too much in it, because then it will be too much for the connection apparently. We put it on wheels. Thanks to Ray for the idea, because we need to fill it up with water, and I'm guessing that's about 30-40 liters which will go in there. So that's 30-40 kilograms, and you gotta be careful with your back. So we'll drive it to the shower, we'll fill it up with water, and we'll find a nice spot outside. We'll get started. And we're up and running. It's charging, which means there goes power through it. Up here. We did a little bit of adjustments, because as what we said before, you need a decent car charger who does not need a power current to get started, and the ones we have does need a power current. So we had to improvise. And we have a small drip charger for a motorbike, which gave the first charge. And I also have the feeling that the metal connections are simply not good. Even though I grind them a bit, I still have the feeling that they just don't give enough energy connection with the water. So instead we put in a different one, just a steel plate we had, which we were sure was good. And it's getting there. Just listen in. So the whole piece pretty much gets soaked up with energy now, and I expect within a few minutes we'll have the first brown dirty stuff coming up. As you see, it starts to bubble more and more. So now it's just a matter of wait, and we'll see how far we'll come. And 2 days further, not much new progress, unfortunately. We had our whole system built up on the small battery charger. And as we had said before, it's very important that you buy a battery charger which does not need a certain voltage in the item that it is charging. We had one like that, and that's definitely not working. We did had it working in the past, combined with some other tools. We could not get it fixed in a decent way, and also we wanted it to go a little bit faster. So we went bigger, plain simple, and the trick worked straight ahead without any hustle. As you can see here, all the bubbles coming up, that's all rising up from the steel. It's already rust, deforming, dissolving. So we definitely have it going now. And it took us 5-6 hours last night till we figured it out. This machine was actually shit. So you need a little bit of an investment, but you'll get there. And also I believe this one can bring up double amperage, 12 instead of 5. So which means more power through the steel. and the faster the rust dissolves. So we'll get back to you, and hopefully this time we can show a result. Our first result. As you can see, the rust is eaten away pretty much to the bone. Still some small bits left, so you can put it in for a longer time and that will disappear too. But for now we're happy. The thing with electrolyse is, as you can see on my hands, gets really black after treatment. So pretty much everything that has been treated with electrolyse will turn out black and get dirty like this. So really wash it down good before you put material on it to preserve it, and make sure it's dry before you put it on, else it will be a terrible piece again in a time. But for now we're kinda happy, despite some smaller bits. I can probably take it off with a hammer or something. So we have some more pieces in, see what the result will be on that. But for now, this is the one on the Katusha. And our second item is pretty much ready. As you can see, definitely got better. Although I must say still some traces of rust. But that's probably because I was running out of salt when I had this piece in. On the meter from the machine I saw it was at 0. That means there's no electricity going through your system. So yeah, the derusting part stops at that point. So let's have it see. Look. Because I did change something. Before I used soda that you use in the house, because this was supposed to be better than regular salt. And now we have de-icing salt. Much cheaper, but I think, because if you're looking at the box right now, you see the red stuff. I think it's way more chemical than soda. I think soda is a more pure form of the de-icing salt we throw on the ground. So be aware of that. I do think it has the same capacity, because I put in new salt, and I'll show you here. This is the meter. Before it was at 0, I added new salt and I saw it go up back to 10 again. So the last piece is in the helmet and it's working on the icing salt this time. So I'll keep you up to date. When the helmet is finished, we'll show all items and we'll give them a protection layer and we'll get back. Some hours further down the road, the helmet. We're gonna take it out, see what the result is. I'll be back. Well, what can I say? Amazing. Totally gone. I could wash it right off, all the rust. Still some spots, but I do have the feeling that that stuff is way better than that stuff. So within a couple hours this one was clean to the bone. No paint left as expected, but yeah, happy with it. We're gonna do some German helmets soon. Well, that went quickly. All relics have been cleaned for now, at least the ones we have picked. I can show you the examples here. Left one had electrolyse, although I must say it can definitely be electrized or whatever you call it more and better. When we took this out, we noticed that we did not have a good current. We found out that the salt in the water had vaporized. So we had put new salt in and a new piece, this helmet, and it started working like a madman straight up. So we knew that salt was the problem. So after a couple of hours of electrolysis, you need to add new salt, so the electricity will have a connection again. This helmet we did with electrolysis, and yeah, how do you say it? A member of the rocksteady group told us we should just do a helmet, which we had never done before, because we had thought it would give a very bad result, but we're actually really happy with it. We're gonna do more, that's for sure. That's not original paint. It did not leave any paint left, but the helmet itself has been cleaned really well. I could just wipe all the rust off with a brush, even between these parts there and here. This was one chunk of rust and it just vaporized. So yeah, super happy with the electrolysis result on a helmet. Right now we have a German helmet in, because we're gonna do definitely more. I would say that's a good way, very good way for restoring a real Relic helmet where there is no original paint or decal left, because you're really making sure all the rust is gone pretty much. Still some small spots here, but putting it in more will take these away too. And after that you can treat the helmet pretty much with anything you like. Of course, think about preservation for a longer time. So we still advise and prefer the method we have shown you before in our other videos. With candle wax, it really gives it a good look. So yeah, the helmet. Just here to show you the difference a bit. You can definitely see the color difference. And up here, just... So yeah, so for the helmet, these casings, well, very clear difference. They both looked the same before. And we did not have any hard work on this. Just put it in, let the electrolysis do its work, scrub it slightly and it falls off and you'll have a piece like this. But yeah, the most interesting part was the Katusha. This one has been done. This one hasn't. And you can... it's a heavy piece. Fuck all. Took us a lot of effort to get these pieces from Russia out of the woods. But yeah, see the difference. Totally red, black. Pretty much all items that come out of the electrolysis will turn out black. I prefer that definitely more than red. And you can, yeah, put a nice shine on it or whatever. Still some spots here, but we just didn't brush it enough. You can take all these bits away. It will come out clear looking like this. Instead of this. So yeah, you could, I don't know, make a nice ornament with it or something. Lamp, whatever. Something fancy, you know. Put a light bulb in there and sell it for 300 to some hipster or something. Whatever. Keep in mind, electrolyse relics will come out black, really dirty, and it seems like it keeps on coming. So you really need to wash it good. Be sure all the black stuff is gone before you put some other stuff on it. And yeah, with these pieces, how to preserve it? Well, it's really strong metal. Do whatever you like. Do whatever you think looks good. We have some spray plastic stuff up here. If you just spray it on, it will give it a real nice shine, which I actually like on these relics. Make them look like new even though they're really old. So yeah, this was pretty much the end of our video. We'll close it down with a last final look on our German helmet and our setup. German helmet is in. You can see the water moving because of the electrical current which is in there. Up here we see the metal pieces that are in, and as you can see, big chemical reaction, dirty nasty stuff. This metal piece will be rotten away after a couple of times of usage, and we need to put on some new metal. Be sure to keep these above the water. I'll still get as fucked up as the piece of metal, and you need to get new connectors, which you don't want, of course. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a bit about it. This machine here, we love it. We really love it. It goes like a maniac. So yeah, invest in good tools, good machinery. It will make the job a lot easier. And with electrolyse, as we said before, go for the ground salt, the stuff they put on the roads. It's really cheap, and I have a feeling it has a way better connection than the homemade soda, which we have used before. But as said, I think the chemical reaction is much heavier and much more unhealthy with this type. So be gentle, really. Put your piece outside. Make sure it doesn't go inside. And if you're above it, use a mask. And then you're good to go. So yeah, we'll keep you updated on some other items, on other ways of treating, preserving relics. And have a good one. See you.